Let me get up comfortable on this bed. I am live. And so I'm going to give you guys some time to tune in. You are tuning into or should I say plugging into the Become Your Magic Power Hour, where we meet here every Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. in order to basically think about or ignite all those abracadabra moments that actually lead us into the magic that is us, the magic of our existence, the magic of our purpose, the magic of our experiences. Like, all of the things that we do are the moments that we get to show up in the magic that makes us who we are. And so how do we celebrate that magic? How do we ignite that magic? How do we embrace that magic? Hello, Melissa. How are you? This is the time where we share. You can get some pep in your step so that you can what? So that you can move the way you were created to move, so that you can be who you were created to be, so that you can really show up in the gift that is you. Like, we can accept what is unacceptable. Did you hear me? Being able to accept what is unacceptable is being able to be in the now, to become our light, to just really set fires all over the world, like sparks all over the place. And so I'm just, yesterday was a new moon. It was the ending of, it was like the eclipse. And so it was a good time to meditate, pray, release some stuff, and I think many of us had some high and low moments on yesterday. Shout out to everybody who got up today, made it happen, embrace that life is just experiences that we go through that just make up who we are. It's just new awakenings, new understandings, new love, newfound relationships, and so grieving is real. And we grieve through so many different things. We grieve for so many different reasons. So I shout out to you, Melissa, because grief is a process that is necessary in order for us to give birth to something new, in order for us to be grateful for what we've had, right? Why? Because we're grieving over what's changed, what's different. And if we can grieve daily, then we can be reborn daily. If we can grieve daily, we can show up, we can resurrect. And so when you think about grieving, you always think about a loss, and you think about the sacrifice, right? And so Jesus' sacrifice, Yeshua's sacrifice was a loss. It was a loss to us, And so since that was a loss, every day you wake up knowing that you're stronger, knowing that it was teaching you something, knowing that it was taking you somewhere, knowing that it was all in the journey of who we're becoming, that all of us have to go through certain things in order to exist, in order to be real, to be human, And so the body allows us to really feel. The soul allows us to trust the process, but the body allows us to be real while we're going through. And so we got to be willing to breathe. We got to be willing to release. We got to be willing to embrace our realities in order to grieve and resurrect. And so that just fell on my spirit. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Whoever needs it, I hope you receive it. I needed to grieve some things yesterday to resurrect myself. And so grieving doesn't always mean that somebody died. It just means that a release, a let go. A reborn, because every time you let something go, and every time you release that anger or that pain or that anguish, when you roar, shout it out, in, like we were saying, in rage, in different ways, it allows you to let go. It allows you to make space for something else, because everything is taking up space in your life. Everything is taking up a piece of you. And so when something dies, it's only because something else is resurrecting. When something else um, leaves, it's only because it's making room for something else to grow. Why? Because we just can't control life, but we do get to enjoy it. And so we can enjoy the moments, we can eliminate the regrets, we can grieve over the experience that we no longer know have, that we no longer can live in, but just the love of knowing that we can go on, that our soul will carry us, that the fact that we have breath, that means we have more reason to, I guess, show up in whatever that relationship inspired in you. Maybe it can resurrect the gift of the relationships. And so grieve the relationship that was lost, but resurrect what it impacted, what it influenced, what it inspired, and why you are where you are. And so if we can just remember what makes us so grateful, what puts us in such ease, we can search for those feelings in any moment. And it'll keep us alive. It keeps the soul strong. I mean, super strong. And so let's see who's on. I did a lot of praying and releasing last night, feeling it still today. That's right. And I'm glad. I'm glad you allowed yourself to go through to experience. Hello, Tanitra. Hey, Pumpkin. How you doing? You are so welcome. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. William Brown words today was empathy. That's definitely the word of the day. LOL. Women are connected to the moon energy, and I happen to be very empathetic too. That mixed with my family grief, I've been on full blast. I'm here in this hour to find my power and reset. That's it. And that's what we do. We show up. We make ourselves available so that somebody can show up, that maybe somebody can eat from your table. I mean, that's what it is. Every time we get up and we make a difference and we show up in who we are, then we allow somebody the opportunity to maybe get something that they needed, to maybe get some type of influence, all things are just to lift us, to take us higher, to help us see ourselves more. And so it allows us to then what? Make a meal so somebody can eat from our table. And that's what the story of life is. That's why we all need each other. That's why even though you don't know who's connected to you, it's connected to you somewhere down the line. Because you showed up, because your grandma showed up, because their grandmother showed up. It's just we are just been shown it from generation to generation that it's all about who showed up first, who passed the baton, who stood in who they were, who made a difference, who made an impact. And what type of impact was it? Because we all make impacts. The question is, what does your impact look like? And so when we are living and when we are doing and when we are existing, we really got to sit in this season and start to ask ourselves, what am I bringing? What is my impact? What is my soul print? I'm trying to think, what is today? Let me, before we're at the 8-minute mark. So let me come on here and find myself and share it to my page. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay today? How are you feeling? Are you feeling like, oh, another day, I made it, I'm ready, I'm glad I got over that yesterday. I'm looking forward to and eager to today and what I can do different, how I can love different, how I can see me different. Like, what are our goals for our personal selves, for our souls? Do you have a goal for your soul? I know you have a goal for your house, maybe for your dreams, maybe for things that people can see. But do you have a goal for the thing that you can see? What's the goal for your soul? Where do you see your soul taking you? What type of because your soul is gonna pull you out of anything. That's what you need. You needed to talk you out of the stuff, talk you into stuff. And so it's always gonna lead you to your answers, lead you to your strength, show you who you are. Our body make us think what we can't do. We look at ourselves and find imperfections to distract us from our perfect peace. Why? We are so distracted by so many different things. But when you look at yourself, do you ask yourself, what is the goal of my soul? I think that's something that we may need to set into place, especially in this season of being aware, being conscious, knowing that you are bigger than your roles and titles, knowing that you came on assignment, knowing that you have the responsibility to light up the world, your world. And do you know why we use world? Because any place you're in becomes the world to you. And so when they say light up the world, maybe we jump into everybody knowing us. But it's more important that we know ourselves so that we can light up the worlds that we walk into. Anytime you walk into a room, you're walking into somebody else's world. Anytime you go into a situation, you're walking into somebody else's world. That isn't your reality. That isn't the life you created. If you're scrolling on the internet and you're looking at this event or that, that's somebody else's world that you are experiencing, seeing, and being a part of. And so, how are you lighting up your world? The world that you have access to, the world that you thrive in, the world that you show up from day to day. How are you lighting up that place? What does that look like? Have you discovered that? And that's all about allowing yourself to mentor, to get your soul mentored. I see you over here. Let me see. I'm feeling like I need to get gentle with myself today, self love. And that's key. The key is to listen to what you're feeling. Like there aren't any rules when you are actually in charge. Did you know that? When you're in charge, you kind of set the rules. You set the pace, you set the precedent, especially when it comes to self care. Because you cannot give to somebody else what you do not already have. You cannot pour out what you do not already have. And so you got to figure out what kind of self-care what is it that I need today? And you need to give yourself that. Commit to giving yourself that with no excuses, no exceptions. I mean, there are times that we have to do that, but that's how we show up. That's how we clock in. That's how we keep it real with ourselves. My sole goal is to be still and know He is God. Mm, mm, mm. My sole goal is to be still and know that He is God. Time to refill. Hashtag soul goal. That's it. That's it. I see you. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for sharing, putting everybody's name in there. Melissa coming to get you. She even came to get Ron Paul, and I see that. Where he at? Where he at? But yes. And so today's topic, let's see. We are on December 1st. And so since today will be day 1 of 30 days of Invest into Impact. And on these 30 days, tonight at 7, I'm so excited. Yesterday, I was hoping to launch my I See Me Academy, but there are some amazing souls, some amazing young people, our younger generation, who are going to help me with the launch. And so today at 7 fits well with everyone's schedule. And since there are at least 6 of them, I had to make sure it worked. And so I'm so excited that we will be going live at 7 p.m. with all of these different amazing, when I say these young people are powerful. And why they're so powerful is because they listened, they applied, and they showed up. And they have amazing results. And so I just want to give you guys examples of what it looks like to just remind these children just how powerful they are, just how special they are, just how important it is to see them, hear them, respond to them personally. Not overall, but personally, to take the time to see them as an individual, because their experience is so individual. Start to think back at how individual your experiences were. And so don't cast big judgments. Understand where they are so that we can help them out. Right? Be empathetic, meaning I'm going to send you a ladder so that you can get here. meaning that I'm going to not sympathize with you and sit in the mess. I'm going to empathize with you. I'm going to help you get yourself out so that you can continue to do it in and out of my presence. And so that's what we teach them. That's how we empower them. That's what I See Me Academy is going to be about. Empowering our youth's minds. Helping them master their self-love. Understanding that how they see themselves is definitely going to be the picture they create. That is in their CNA, SEENA, not DNA. And so we got to make sure they have a clear picture of the amazing people that they are. That no matter what they've going through, that it's going to make them who they are. That they have been equipped. All they need to know is that we are rooting for them. We are encouraging them. We see their pain. We are not diminishing what they've experiencing. Because the only way to help somebody out is to say, I see you hurt and I see you there. And so I want to be intentional that right now our youth need it more than anything, to be seen, to be heard, for us to be transparent, because we are aging out. We are aging out, which means the future is in their hands. And so we got to give them some wisdom, some tools, some encouragement, whatever we can to make sure that we leave the future of the world in great hands because of the seeds that we planted in their minds, because of who they know themselves to be. Because when I'm proud of me, then I can celebrate you. And we need a world of celebrators, and we got to remove all the haters. We got to celebrate one another. Period. But anyway, today is, the month is December, and let me tell you what today, with this all 30 days as I'm doing Invest into Impact on the Power Hour, we are going to just follow the calendar. So every day we'll have a day off the calendar in order to have whatever our message is. And so this month is so the process won't be televised, the impact will. If that ain't a word that we need to hear coming out of such a crazy year. We are in December. This year has come and gone, and it is different for everybody. And I'm telling you, though, what you've been through, when I wrote that whole idea, though the process won't be televised, but the impact will, a lot of times we suffer in silence. Everybody does at some point. Most of us right now still suffer in silence for something at some level. And when we suffer, it allows us to really recognize what is hurting, what needs to be addressed, what needs to be fixed. And if you allow yourself to process through it, you become that impact. You become the thing that changes the magic. And so we got to realize that everything we're going through, while you may think that nobody understands your pain or nobody sees you, nobody ever televises what you go through. It is your responsibility once you arrive to allow them to see who they can be, because you once were where they were. Let's face it, nobody listens to somebody in struggle. Nobody listens to somebody while they're crying, going through. You listen to somebody who have cried and said, listen, I got past that. I struggled, and here I am. Because everybody's looking for information, tools. And so while you're being processed, understand that everybody may not get it. They might not understand what is required, what you're doing. But your impact, the impact will be televised. That will be multiplied. When I think of televised, I just mean that so many people can see the same thing at the same time. That's television. That's programming. And so what you go through will be programmed how you show up in the rooms, in the world that you're creating. So you're being processed to be televised, meaning that multiplication. So what your impact from what you've been processed through is what you're multiplying in the world. And so it depends if you gotten up from it. If you're the evidence of getting over it. That's what you're televising. That you too can rise. If you suffer in silence, then you're televising that you can't get up. That's what you're televising. Because you are actually the brand marketer for yourself. You are the brand. So how you move, what you do, what you say, it is definitely televised. Because you are impacting people moment by moment, place by place. Television. That your vision, you are imprinting in somebody every time you enter the room because that's the world that you entered. So what are you processing through that you allowing to be the vision that people see? You are the vision. You are telling the vision. Good God Almighty. You are telling the vision in your walk, in your talk, in your evidence. See, they see you more than they hear you. They see you more than they hear you. So what is the vision you are televising every time you walk into the room? Because today is, you were made to light up the room. Did it not fall right in there? If you're in a dark room and you turn on the television, doesn't it light up the room? And isn't it telling the story of whomever created that? Whoever went outside of their thought to create a picture is on your TV. Because they believed in the vision so much. I mean, they believed in their light so much that they followed through. And so we got to become the follow through of God. We got to be willing to go through the process so that we are impactful in what we are televising. We got to understand that everybody won't understand what you went through until you go through it and let them know how you came out. You cannot give God the glory until you tell your story. And so how were you made to light up the world? What have you learned through this journey that gave you a different spark? And this is how I know what you got to light up the world. Your light is always going to be fine in the darkness, because the only reason why you can acknowledge that the light came on is because you was already in the dark. Mm-hmm. The only reason that you can acknowledge that the light came on was because you were already in the dark. That was deep, girl. And so if you want to figure out what part of you lights up the world, go back to the place that you were in the dark. Remember that moment when the light came on, when it clicked, when you made a decision, when you stood up. And those are many moments, because we are on journeys that have valleys and mountaintops and valleys and mountaintops and valleys and mountaintops, year after year, moment after moment. And so it's recognizing that, yes, what are you doing? What made you realize who you were? How'd you get out of that moment? Where did that switch come from? Where did that spark come from? Where does your light come from? It come from the moments that you were born in that dark place. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall not fear. That's darkness. You are the light in the darkness. You're always waiting to just find the switch, to find the moment, to hear, see, feel. That's what you're waiting for. To acknowledge that the moment called for you. If you are the light, and God said, let there be light, and I swear he was talking about us. Many of us imagine that he was talking about us. That's my interpretation. But I think he was talking about you and me when he said, let there be light. That means that there were situations in the world that were going to be dark, but because he sent you, that you were going to light up the room, that you were going to make the difference. And the reason why he knew you were capable of bringing the light, because he knew that you found your switch in that dark place. And so I set you up in that room to see if you even knew where your switch was. What I gave you, the light that you possessed. And so anytime you're in a moment and you're trying to figure out, how do I light up the room? Remember how you got light in your room. Remember what makes you great. Never compare yourself to somebody else's light, because you wasn't in their darkness. You don't know what was required to turn on their light. And so we concentrate on lighting up our lives by getting real with our dark spaces and being aware that we have the power to turn ourselves on, to resurrect, to rise, to become the television, the televised part of ourselves that we want to multiply. We are televising ourselves before we are figuring out what makes us the light. We are televising ourselves before we are confident about the I am that we are. Which is why it's so easy for us to be destroyed. Because you are multiplying something that has not been grounded in foundation and knowing that you are the light. That when the light is on, nobody can come on and put out the light. Matter of fact, if darkness come in a room, we can't even remember it's there because it walked into light. Light and darkness cannot coexist. You got to find yourself in a corner. You got to be hidden. If the light is on in the room, you can only find darkness in hidden places. Darkness ain't exposed in the light. You got to look under the bed to realize that the light didn't reach there. You got to look under the dresser. You got to look in dark places to see what the light didn't hit in a room. They're hidden. They haven't been exposed. And so I want you to understand that when light walks in the room, it is going to magnify everything. It is going to remind everything. It's going to brighten everything. It's going to make awareness to things. You know, you don't know how dirty something is until you turn on the light. I could put you in a nasty, disgusting, dark room and put you in there. Put you at the table. Put food on it. Have you sitting in position. Tell you, trust me. And you're all prepared. And then I turn on a light. And you see how nasty and how disgusting the room is. That's why we got to walk with our lights on. We got to walk with our lights on. Because then I think people are more intentional when your light is on. Because they can't hide behind you. There's no excuses. Y'all can be real. You can be authentic. You can have growing conversations that lead you to your best self. You are the light that every room needs. because you've proven yourself to be a light because God sent you. He said, there's a dark space in the corner that I think you can light up. I want to send you there. He said, there's a dark space in the room that I need you to light up. I need to send you there. But wait, first I got to let you know what it feels like to be in the darkness so you know how valuable your light is. But wait, first I have to put you in the valley so you know how valuable the mountaintop is. First I got to let you be in the dark so you can know how valuable the light is. Because if I put you in the dark and then you realize you were the light, and that feeling that you felt when you really realize you are the light is the feeling that you want to give to everybody. It is the feeling that you want to pour. You're saying, let's be great. You're saying, let's not hate. Do our personal work. Actually, make sure you clean underneath the bed. That you address the closet that needs the light to shine on it. That you address the dirty table in the room. That once you realize when the light comes on, the room that you are sitting in is not the room you want to be in. And so you get up and you choose to clean up because the light has come on. So there's no more excuses for sitting in the dark. There are no more excuses for resting in your pain. There are no more excuses for relying on your shame. You got to say, I see that the light is on and I see what I need, and I need to get to work about God's business. I need to recognize that the process won't be televised, but the impact will. Nobody know what I went through in that dark places, but they know how I made them feel when I showed up in a light place. That's the impact that's being televised by your dark place. Nobody cares about the excuses of what got you to be dark. All they know that you ain't bringing them light. Nobody cares about why you feel the way you do. All they know is that you are not showing up for them. Nobody cares about your valley. They want to know, how can you light up my world? How can you light up your world? How can you process to be televised? How can you turn those dark places into new spaces? Because once the light came on, you took accountability for the room you were sitting in. Once the light came on, you took accountability for the place that you were standing in. You were made to light up the room. If you are not doing that, you are doing an injustice to the breath that you've been given. We've all been through some things. It is the price of admission. We all have a story. We were set to be a solution. We were set to be the light, which means we must go through dark places in order to be authentic and shining. But I want you to hear what I said. We must go through dark places, not sit in dark places. We must go through these moments, not dwell in the moment. That's our responsibility to ourselves. That's how we ensure we will light up the room. That's how we ensure it. Not by he says, she say, but by we say, how we show up. When I say become your magic, it's People looking at you and you being like, oh my goodness, how did she do that with what I seen? How did he become that with what I know? Nobody's ever done that before. How did he think that up? You know what type of courage and strength and resilience and magic that it takes to be who people are daily? And I'm talking about the ones that like themselves when nobody's looking. Beyond what we say about ourselves is more about what we believe about ourselves. What do you believe about yourself from that situation? Are you honoring the process and the impact that will be televised through your journey? Are you making excuses for what you've been through as if that wasn't the price of admission? There is no excuse. We all had to pay for something. It costs to be the boss. It costs to be VIP. It's going to cost you for the dream you are imagining. It's going to cost every time you turn on the light, it costs you something. How many people got a power bill? How many people have a power bill? Tell me who don't have a bill that comes every 30 days after they turned on the lights. It costs to shine. Could you imagine I got to pay for light? You damn sure do. You damn sure do. You got to pay for light. It's not free. You got to pay for it. The darkness is what makes you pay for the light. Remembering when you couldn't see yourself around the room is what makes you pay for the light. Remembering when you didn't know where you were going makes you want to pay for the light. Knowing how much more you can do when you can see your hand in front of your face makes you want to pay for the light. And so, of course, it costs you to be the light. It costs you that darkness that you had to get exposed to in order for you to value the light. I needed you to value the light, to know that it was necessary, to know that any moment you could cut it on. Because your mindset is the light that I gave you. That is your soul. That is the light God has given us all. Our mindset. A true, authentic mindset. Being real with ourselves. Addressing ourselves. Being honest about what we see in the mirror. Especially when nobody is looking. Because I say, don't impress me, honey. Don't impress your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, because there's one person that's looking all the time that knows who you are. And that's God. Or it is the energy, the aura, whatever you believe in, your karma. That is what you're putting out in the world. That's why it's important for you to light up the room. That's why it's important for you to make sure that the vision that you're televising is that of joy, light, truth. Oh my God, let it be truth. Stand in your truth. Let your truth be enough. Because that's the starting point. When I created the I Choose Me and I had the vision of the image of the when this came in, shout out to Kevin. When this came in, oh my God, Pink Pig Production, fuck your brand. Excuse my French, but that's what he called himself. When he brought back the image, it was what it was about. It was about loving yourself from right where you were. Do you see how I wanted it to be tears and joy, and it was like, we can't do that, So I'm gonna give you the same emotion that you was talking about. So he gave me you looking away from yourself as you're looking at yourself. Made me want to weep because it captured the essence of what I mean to love yourself, to show up in your light. It means that I can look myself in the mirror and say, let me tell you something. There's some things about me. If I got to lie about it, I need to change it. If I'm not proud of it, I need to change it. Because I absolutely have the power to change anything by renewing my mindset and then by getting into action. Renewing my mindset first, that's your faith. And the works is getting into action. And so I don't like this. And if I'm portraying this must be really who or what I want to be or what I want to do. And so I make a plan and I commit to the act of becoming, not wanting. We got to go out of wanting to be this and go into the act of becoming. That is walking, that is moving, that is action, that is being accountable. It is not just arriving. It is intention attached to your arrival. It is placing something in your GPS. It's saying, I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better lover. It is attaching something to who you say you want to become. So if I want to be a better something, I got to do a better something. I got to add to the list of what I'm doing. And so anything that you can dream about becoming, you can actually make it your reality. By recognizing that in any dark space, you have the light. You have the light. Your light is important. Your light matters. Your light changes the world. Because the world is the room you have access to. That is your world, honey. The rooms that you have access to is your world. It is this world. It is that world. We enter worlds every single day. Because everybody has a different reality of what their world should look like. And everybody has the power to turn on the light. But it's going to cost you something. And cost is equal to value. And value is equal to time. And time is equal to money. So it all boils down to time. Everything takes time. Everything. And so the time we take with the process, the time we take to figure out what does it require for me to afford to cut on a light? What does it require for me to afford to cut on the light? It requires I spend some time. You can go anywhere with that. If I need to cut on a light in my house, I need to spend some time in areas that's going to give me money so that I can pay that bill. If I want to cut on the light in my marriage, I got to spend some time doing some things that's going to cut on the light in my marriage. Intentional. If I want to add something to my business, I got to spend some time, come on now, to cut on the light in this dark area in my business. You are the light of your world. Your mindset is the light. It is your future. It is not what you think about. It is not what you pretend to be. It is who you are. The evidence of where you are will tell me how you think about yourself. We got to be intentional with our light. Rondell loved that saying, I think it was John Gray that said, I don't want to hear a sermon. I want to see a sermon. Don't talk to me. Show me. Become your magic. Abracadabra. Shock me. Light up the world. Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't dream about it, wake up. Make it your reality. Do you know you have the power to change everything in your life by making a different choice? Did I just say that? It was just that simple. You just make a different choice. I made a choice to go over and hit the switch because the room was dark. But I didn't think the light on. You know? We got so lazy because they made clap on. But even then, you got to do something. Even then, you got to do something. No matter how easy they made for you to turn on the light, they still made you put in action. You can walk over there, or you can just afford yourself. Afford, because you had to pay for the clap on. It was more than just you going over there and turn on the light. You made an extra investment to clap on. But you still had to do something. And so we have the power to either get up and walk over and turn on our light. We have the power to afford ourselves the opportunity to go over and invest in clapping our light on. But what we got to be aware of is that light is necessary for us to see ourselves through. Light is necessary for us to get what we need at its biggest and fullest capacity. Light is necessary. And so when I say that you were made to light up the world, I'm only saying that you were necessary. And the fact that you have breath is why you are necessary. And what you do with it is what makes me and the world know, you and everybody around you know, just how necessary you are. And so it is our responsibility to light up our life. You know what I'm saying? That's our job. And so I'm so excited to know that though the process won't be televised, the impact will. And so what's the impact? That is you. What's the impact that you do? What is the impact that you offer? You know what I mean? And so we got to love ourselves to full. We got to be intentional with what we're doing. We got to know that we are the light, that if we are in the darkness, we can come out. If we are in the darkness, we can make it through. If we are in the darkness, it is yet but gaining access to more light, to a switch, to realizing that we already use our light because we came through that dark moment. We've experienced that thing. We got up. We moved on. We have the power now. Because I know that I can turn myself on. That's power. That's what makes you powerful. You're full of power if anytime you're in a dark place, you can turn on your switch. That's powerful. I didn't say you wasn't going to get in a dark place. Let's be clear. It's necessary. Because how else would you be impactful? But you had to go through it. Stop wasting so much time in those dark places when you will feel a power. You are full of power. So to waste your time in a dark space and place when God has given you access to light, which is you, You must do your personal work. We all have to do our personal work in all the different areas that require our attention, that require our love, and that require our truth. Until we are real with the person who is looking in the mirror, who can't even look at themselves and love them from right where they are, and really, really apply the principles of loving yourself authentically for who you are, you will continue to get bitter and not better. We got to look at our lights, work on our worlds, love on ourselves in order to be the impact that we want to televise, to be the joy in most people's experiences. We may not get it right all the time, but we need to get it right most of the time. Did you hear me? We may not get it right all the time, but we need to get it right most of the time. We need to be intentional with what we're televising. And that's my word for the day, honey. That is my word for the day. Let's see. See what y'all got. It looks like listen, I can't wait to listen. This is one of the ones I can't wait to play back. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna catch up. We got time to catch up. Oh, hold on. Okay. Oh, be sure to shoot me a text before you got. I got you. I got you. I know what you're talking about. It's going to be at 7 though. I definitely got it planned for 7 because everybody's gonna be in the green room by 6:45. So definitely we'll be live at 7. I'm gonna have the kids watch too. I will put y'all on the tablet so we can all watch. Please, please tonight at 7, bring your kids. This is for them. They need to know what I See Me Academy is all about because they're gonna ask you to attend. We will have early. There will be an early bird special release on tonight that will last until Christmas Day. Christmas Day. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sign us all up for the academy. Let us know how we can help too. Awesome. I struggled and survived. Come on now. I am the light. We are the light. Period. Period. I am the light. Wow, sis. I was needing this word today. So was I. I had to go through a word to say a word. Let me tell you something. He got to send you through it for you to understand it. I was sent to be a solution. Solution, we all are. But I often say, honey, somebody else's son is somebody else's murderer. Everybody's got a lane and a place in somebody else's world. You just got to make sure that you are the solution in your world. And be intentional about what you're doing. Be intentional. It costs to be the boss. It's very expensive. It's very expensive. It's very expensive to especially boss up in your spirit. I ain't talking about bossing up in the world. I ain't talking about bossing up in material. Bossing up in your spirit is expensive. Because to be favored, you got to go through some stuff. The most favorite thing is probably worn out because they grab it all the time. Because it's your favorite. And so it gives you comfort. It gives you peace. It gives you assurance. That's why it's your favorite. You can depend on your favorite. It's dependable. And so can you imagine something that was dependable that you had access to, how often you would grab it? And so, yeah, to be favored is to recognize that it costs to be the boss. And getting bossed up in your soul, oh, that's expensive. I love this perspective on the dark moments. This turns pain into power. I do appreciate this message today. That's right. Yes, preach. Tell it, sis. I said get some pep in your step. The prophetic evangelist Precious. Go and tell that. Powerful logo. Thank you. I thought so, girl. When I saw that, I ran. It's a renew my mindset. Oh my God, Rondell, I got a marriage proposal in Algeria. Come to Algeria. I want to marry you. That's what somebody said. Nakia Christian, she's on fire today. First. My husband said, send me $100,000 first. I'll be on the next plane. Let me buy the ticket. Yes, Melissa. The Soul Coach. And let me tell you something. The I See Me Academy is mentoring the soul with the Soul Coach. From peer pressure to soul pressure. An 8-week course that is going to change the trajectory of your children's life. I guarantee you, and I'm going to give you some evidence of it at the very beginning later on. So I'm excited about this launch. I'm excited to turn my focus to the future generations of the world, the future leaders of the world. Straight from the Soul Coach herself, Queen Precious Paul, and I thank you. Nakia Grissom, great minds think alike. Yes, we do. To be in here, circle is priceless. Lord. Oh, to be in her circle is priceless. I received that. I received that. Nakia Grissom. Y'all over here having a good time. I'm glad. I am the light of my world. Come on. Rondell, you want to pick our card today? Or you don't want to be seen? You put your finger on here. Get you some priceless merchandise from the Soul Coach herself, PreciousPaulin.com. Thank you. So guess what? This is how many cards we have left. We have only 3 cards left, and that would be this is what he picked. So right now, in this time right now, we know that we spoke about you lighting up the world, you making the difference, you realizing that the dark spaces is what gives so much value to the light places. And you are the light place in any room if you can only turn on your switch. And so the I am that God wants us to know today is I am relentless. Rondell, look what you picked. I am relentless. Shout out to your boy Ron Carpenter. I like him. He's good. He's got a good word in him. I am relentless. I think that's what it's all about. Becoming the light is accepting that God made you relentless. He made you your own magic. He allows you to choose to turn on your switch in any abracadabra moment. You seize the moment. You make it magical by the choice you make. The choice to be relentless. The choice to be the light. The choice to get better and not bitter. The choice to celebrate the light in your life. The choice to show up as a light in somebody else's life because you know what it meant to be in the darkness. You know what it meant to suffer. You know what it meant to be. And so we got to be relentless in our authentic arrival of ourselves. Our real light. Our truth. Our dedication to ourselves. We got to be relentless in that. We got to be relentless in our assignment. Recognizing that it's bigger than us. Recognizing if it's not bigger than you, it ain't assignment. If it's only about what you can buy and not about the impact that you're televising, then it's not attached to something bigger than you. And your God piece is always going to be bigger than you because it's perfect. And only something perfect could be bigger than you. We got to allow those imperfect actions to let us see how relentless we are so that we can show up in our light in the world every single day because we can. Because we understand it's only about us turning on a switch, clapping our hands, but making sure that we're aware that the light must come on, acknowledging that we're in the dark, acknowledging once the light come on that we need to clean up this place. And that the only way to clean up this place is to relentlessly be accountable for the mess that we're sitting in. To get up with action steps to clean up each area in order for us to sit in the room when we cut on a light. So it's okay what you've been through, but it's more important what you grow through. Make it count. Make your breath matter. Make those valleys worth it. What good are you going through the valley if you never make it to the mountaintop? Turn that pain into power. Turn that dark into light by recognizing that you light up the world. So be relentless. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see you got my I am relentless, I am relentless, I am relentless. I want you to remember that it is a relay race. And somebody, Melissa said, I love you and I would marry you too. I am relentless. You got to remember that it is a relay race and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave a soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what we got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what we got right. It tells us where you turned on your light. It tells us where you saw yourself for right, where you were and what decided to do the work. It shows us the magic in your relentlessness to be who you say you are by making action steps, taking action steps to choose you daily because you're worth it. Because those dark places is what qualifies you to turn on the light. I said those dark places is what qualifies you to turn on the light. Stop shutting out other people's light because you're scared to expose the darkness or the mess in your room. Allow the light to come on and say, you know what? I got some work to do. Sometimes I got to get the light in my room and I got to say, you know what? I got some work to do. We are always working on ourselves. The question is there evidence? Are you televising and being impactful? Are you becoming better and not bitter? And are you relentless in making sure that you are showing up? I love you. You've been tuned into the plugged into the Become Your Magic Power Hour with yours truly, Miss Precious Paulin, the Queen of Soul Stir and Inspiration, prophetic poet, soul coach, you name it. But most importantly, I want to remind you that you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in the room so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It's I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses because you were born enough. You've been pre-qualified. You are now relentless. So now go and become the light in the world. I love you guys. Thank you for your time. I'll see you tonight at 7 with a special treat. Take care of your souls, and I'll see you later. I am relentless. Let me make sure we see all of this. I want to represent. I am relentless. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Aunt Karen. See you guys later. Bye-bye.